When I signed up for swimming lessons at the local gym, I didn't expect my life to shift the way it did. At 35, I was more focused on getting my confidence back after a messy divorce than impressing anyone. But that was before I met Ryan Parker, my swimming instructor. It was late spring when I first walked into the aquatic center, my nerves bundled tight like a coiled wire. The indoor pool smelled of chlorine and hope. I wore a modest black one-piece and a towel slung over my shoulder, hoping I didn't look as anxious as I felt. I'd always been afraid of the deep end, both literally and metaphorically. My marriage had drowned slowly, and I wasn't sure if I'd ever swim again, figuratively or otherwise. Ryan was waiting by the edge of the pool. He was tall, around 6 feet, with sandy brown hair that curled just a bit when wet. He had that sort of calm energy that made you want to listen. His eyes were green, but not just any green, the kind that changes in the light, sometimes almost blue. He smiled warmly when he saw me, and his voice was confident but soft. "You must be Emily?" he asked. "Yes," I nodded, feeling my face flush as I tightened my grip on the towel. "Emily Walker." "Nice to meet you," he said. "We're going to take this nice and slow. You're not here to impress anyone. Just relax and breathe." I didn't realize then how many times I'd hear him say those words. That first session, Ryan stayed in the water with me, guiding me through the basics, floating, kicking, learning to trust the water. He made everything feel so natural. Every time I panicked, he gently corrected my posture, encouraged me to breathe deeply, and would say, "Relax, Emily, you're doing fine." By the 4th week, I looked forward to our sessions more than anything else in my week. I told myself it was the swimming, the progress, the movement, but deep down I knew I liked being around him. He had this way of focusing entirely on me when I spoke, making me feel like what I said mattered. After so many years of being unheard, that meant something. One day after class, I stayed a bit longer at the poolside, toweling off and watching the younger swimmers splash around. Ryan came over with 2 bottles of water and handed me one. "You're improving fast," he said, sitting beside me. "You used to freeze near the deep end. Today you swam across it." "I didn't think I'd ever get here," I admitted. "Not just in the water. Life's been hard lately." He didn't pry. Instead, he nodded like he understood, and we sat there in companionable silence. After a moment, he asked, "Do you want to stay for a little bit and practice breathing techniques?" That became our new routine. Even after the scheduled lessons ended, we'd meet twice a week. Some sessions were in the water, others were on the poolside mats, where we'd talk and laugh more than anything. I started opening up about my ex-husband, about feeling lost. Ryan listened without judgment, without trying to fix me. He just listened. The night it happened, the center was nearly empty. A storm had rolled in, and most swimmers had canceled. I showed up anyway, out of habit, and Ryan smiled when he saw me. "I figured you'd come," he said. "You're not the type to let a little rain stop you." It was just the 2 of us. The pool lights glowed softly, casting silver ripples across the ceiling. We swam laps side by side, and at the end, we rested at the shallow end, breathing heavy and laughing like kids. "You've come so far," he said, brushing water from his eyes. "You're more confident than when we first met." I was shivering slightly, not from cold, but from how close we were. "I still panic sometimes," I whispered. He tilted his head and looked into my eyes. "Then let me help you relax. Trust me?" I nodded, not knowing what to expect. He gently cupped my face with wet hands, and before I could fully process it, he leaned in and kissed me. It wasn't rushed or reckless. It was careful, like he was asking a question he'd waited weeks to ask. When he pulled back, I looked at him, stunned, breath caught halfway between shock and something deeper. I should have said something, maybe pulled away, but I didn't. Instead, I whispered, "Why now?" His voice was low. "Because I didn't want to cross a line until I knew you were ready. And today, when I saw you dive into that deep end like you finally trusted yourself, I couldn't help it. I didn't know what it meant, what would happen next, but in that moment, something inside me softened." We didn't talk much after that, not that night. He helped me out of the pool, handed me my towel, and held the door as I left. We were both quiet, as if neither of us wanted to break the moment with too many words. The next day, I debated not going back. I stared at my swimsuit, the same black one from the beginning, now carrying a different kind of weight. But by the time 6 p.m. rolled around, I found myself in the parking lot again. When I walked in, Ryan was already in the water, waiting. I stepped onto the deck, and he looked up at me, the same quiet smile on his face. "Hey," he said simply. "Hey." "I didn't want to make you uncomfortable," he said. "If I did, I'm sorry."
"You didn't," I replied.
I was just surprised. "Do you want to continue the lessons?" he asked gently. I nodded.
"Yes."
"But I also want to talk about what happened." He swam to the edge and leaned his arms on the ledge. "We can take it slow. You've been through enough to know what you want now." I appreciated that he didn't push. Over the next few weeks, we kept meeting, and while the lessons continued, the dynamic between us began to shift. There were glances, slight touches, soft smiles, but nothing inappropriate. He respected boundaries like he always had. Eventually, we went for coffee after class. Then lunch. Then one evening, after swim, he asked if I wanted to go for a walk. We ended up talking for hours, walking barefoot in the grass near the river, sharing stories about our childhoods, favorite movies, secret dreams. That night, as he walked me to my car, he kissed me again. This time, I kissed him back. Things didn't become instantly perfect. I was still cautious. I had to remind myself that this wasn't a rebound or a distraction. Ryan never rushed me. He gave me space when I needed it and presence when I didn't even know I did. The way he looked at me, like I was someone worth knowing, worth healing for, changed the way I saw myself. Months passed, and our bond grew deeper. It wasn't just about swimming anymore. It became about trust, growth, forgiveness, and love. Eventually, I stopped calling him my instructor. I called him my partner. And one summer evening, standing on the same pool deck where we first met, he pulled out a small box and asked a question that made my heart stop. I said yes, because somewhere between sinking and swimming, I had found something I didn't know I was looking for. And when he said relax, that very first time, maybe he saw something I hadn't yet. Maybe he saw that I wasn't just afraid of water, but afraid of being seen. And he was the first person who truly saw me.